Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine waking up tomorrow with just $1,000 to your name. Seriously, no job, no investment saved up, no real plan, just you and that single $1,000 bill. It's a pretty stark scenario, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. What if that $1,000, that seemingly small amount, could actually be the seed, the fertile ground for, genuine financial independence? What if it wasn't just pocket change, but like a powerful starting point for future prosperity? What do? Do you throw it all into some super speculative crypto coin, hope for that moonshot that, let's be honest, might never happen? Or maybe buy into a trending stock you saw on social media, just kind of cross your fingers and pray it skyrockets. Or, and this is the trap so many fall into, maybe just let it sit there in your bank account, slowly, bleeding value away to inflation, that quiet killer of savings. Today, we're not guessing. We are diving deep into a really detailed strategic blueprint. We're looking at exactly how someone could invest $1,000 in 2025 if they were truly starting from square one, like absolutely no prior experience, no big savings pile.
And this isn't just spitballing ideas. It's a proper breakdown designed for anyone, really. Doesn't matter your current experience level or, how intimidating the whole financial world might seem right now.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here, and this is really the core of this deep dive, it isn't just about investing money in the traditional sense. It's much deeper. It's about investing in a mindset. It's about cultivating those crucial financial habits, right? And building foundational capabilities, stuff that will serve you for a lifetime, way beyond that initial $1,000. You can almost think of this as like a master class in financial self-reliance. Proactive wealth creation. We're going to meticulously explore how even a modest sum like $1,000 can be a genuine game changer if it's divided wisely. It can act as this powerful catalyst, kicking off multiple avenues for growth and, importantly, resilience. We're not hunting for some single magic bullet here or like a one-time lottery win. Instead, what we're doing is laying out a robust, multifaceted strategy, one that acknowledges the reality of starting with limited cash but still maximizing its potential. So we're breaking this down into 7 distinct parts, each one carefully designed. And each addresses a crucial aspect of building not just financial resilience, that safety net, but also long-term sustainable growth. It's all about laying a diverse foundation, a really unshakable one, rather than, putting all your eggs in one potentially very volatile basket.
Yeah. Hey, that's a fantastic setup. So with this incredible context, let's just jump right into this 7-part blueprint. This is where we get super specific. We're going to show you how to take that initial $1,000 and strategically transform it, make it the very first incredibly sturdy rung on your ladder towards financial freedom and, well, self-sufficiency. And each step kind of builds on the last one, creating this powerful synergy as we go. $100. Invest in yourself first. The unshakable foundation. Okay, step 1. The very first chunk of our $1,000, a crucial $100. It goes into something absolutely non-negotiable, something profoundly impactful, investing in yourself. Now, this isn't about buying some fancy new gadget, right? Or signing up for some quick online course that promises you'll get rich overnight with no effort. No. This is about acquiring what we're calling a high-income skill. We're talking something tangible here, practical, something that's actually in demand in the marketplace. That directly increases your earning potential, not just for a moment, but potentially for years, maybe even decades to come. It's really about boosting your active income first.
Because that active income, that's the fuel for all your other investment strategies down the line.
Exactly. And the source material, it gives some really concrete examples of these types of skills. And they're chosen specifically because they offer a high return on effort, generally speaking, and they're accessible. You don't need like a 4-year degree to get started. We're talking about skills like copywriting, the art of persuasive writing for marketing, for sales, the words that actually make businesses money, or video editing. I mean, look around. It's indispensable today, right?
Yeah.
In our visual, content-heavy world, everything from TikTok clips to corporate training videos, social media management too, helping businesses navigate that constantly changing digital landscape. It's huge. Learning how to build websites. That's the fundamental backbone for almost every online venture now. e-commerce, personal portfolios, you name it, or even something more cutting edge like AI prompting.
Ah, AI prompting. That's interesting for people maybe newer to that. It's not just typing a question into ChatGPT, is it?
No, not at all. It's really an art and a science. It's about crafting really precise instructions, specific queries to get the most valuable, the most accurate, the most tailored output from these powerful AI models. Honestly, it's a skill becoming indispensable across pretty much every industry: coding, content creation, marketing, everything.
And the beauty of this, the really empowering part, is you absolutely do not need to break the bank to learn this stuff. The source really highlights these readily available, incredibly affordable, sometimes even free resources. Think about platforms like Udemy. You can find really structured project-based courses, often for less than 20 bucks when they have sales. YouTube, obviously, it's just a goldmine of high-quality tutorials, full lessons from actual experts in the field. And Skillshare is another great one. Really practical, skill-based learning, focuses a lot on creative and professional development. So this isn't about chasing another diploma or starting years of university. It's about gaining actionable, in-demand expertise quickly, efficiently. You're basically leveraging accessible knowledge to unlock new, higher-paying earning opportunities like right now.
And if we zoom out a bit, connect this to the bigger picture. That initial $100, it isn't just an expense. You could argue it's the most potent investment you can make. Why? Because the potential returns are, well, potentially infinite. Think about this quote from the source. It's pretty profound. No stock, crypto, or ETF is going to give you better returns than a skill that helps you earn more forever.
Oh.
That really brings us to a critical question for you, the listener, doesn't it? What skill could you acquire that would genuinely future-proof your income? Because look, an investment in a stock, maybe it doubles, maybe triples over a decade if you're lucky or smart, but a skill that can increase your income year after year after year, potentially for your entire working life. It becomes an asset that compounds not just money, but your actual earning capacity, your value in the marketplace.
Right. So what makes a skill high income? What are the underlying principles there?
Well, typically it revolves around a few things. Its direct impact on generating revenue for businesses is a big one. Also, leverage and scalability. Can you do it for multiple clients? Can technology help you do more? And often there's a gap between how easy it is to learn the basics versus the high value placed on real mastery. Like, take copywriting. A skilled copywriter can directly translate words into sales. That's huge for a business.
Or video editing, turning raw footage into something compelling that drives engagement or sales.
Exactly. These aren't just hobbies. They're direct contributors to a business's bottom line. So that initial $100, it builds that fundamental capacity to earn more money, significantly more, consistently more. And that extra money, that's what you funnel back into everything else we're going to talk about. It accelerates the whole process. Unlike, say, a one-time game from a lucky stock pick, which is great but not repeatable, a high income skill provides this continuous, adaptable income stream. It really is the ultimate form of self sufficiency in many ways. It empowers you to generate more capital independently. And that's a foundational piece of wealth building that, honestly, a lot of people overlook in their rush to just buy stocks or crypto. It transforms you into a higher value asset in the economic landscape. $250 start an emergency buffer. The safety net is
Okay, so we've invested in ourselves, boosted our potential earning power. That feels like a really solid, impactful first step. But even the most skilled person earning good money,
yeah.
uh, they need a safety net, right? Protection against life's uh, curveballs. Which brings us neatly to our next crucial allocation. We're carving out $150. Now, this might sound mundane, maybe even a little boring compared to skills or investments, but it is absolutely essential. This is your emergency buffer. It's not the flashy part of the plan, it won't make headlines. But honestly, it's the bedrock. It protects all those other exciting ventures and investments we're building.
Totally. Think of it as the foundation of the house. You don't see it, but without it, everything else crumbles. This cash, this $150, it acts as that crucial safety net. It's designed specifically to prevent financial derailment when life inevitably throws something unexpected your way. And believe me, it always does. The source puts it perfectly simply. Life happens.
Yeah. We're talking about those sudden car repairs that just pop up, or a medical bill that insurance doesn't fully cover, or maybe your hours get cut temporarily at work, or even just a surprise home repair, like a leaky pipe that drains your regular checking account.
Exactly. And without this backup cash, this buffer, you might find yourself in a really tight spot, a desperate situation even. You might be forced to sell those investments you just made, your ETFs, maybe even your crypto. And usually, when do emergencies hit?
Right.
When you can least afford them, often when markets might be down, so you're selling at the worst possible time.
Right. Selling low just to cover an immediate need. It completely undermines your entire strategy before it even gets going, before it has a chance to, really blossom.
So where do you park this vital $150? Needs to be safe, needs to be accessible.
Yeah, the source is pretty clear on this. Strongly recommends putting it into a high-yield savings account, HYSA. Now, these aren't your standard savings accounts at the big brick-and-mortar banks. They're usually offered by online-only banks, which means they have lower overhead costs, right? And they can pass those savings on to you with a slightly better interest rate.
Hmm. So your money isn't just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. It's actually earning a little something, maybe just keeping pace with inflation, maybe a tiny bit more.
Exactly. And the source gives specific examples of reputable online banks known for these accounts. Places like Ally, SoFi, or Discover. These are generally known for competitive rates, pretty good user-friendly apps and websites, and reliable service.
The key here is that combination. Accessibility plus a little bit of growth. You need that emergency cash there immediately when you need it. No hoops to jump through. But it's also nice that it's working for you, even in a small, consistent way while it waits.
Yeah, it's about liquid protection, not aggressive growth. That's for other parts of the plan.
And what's truly illuminating here, I think, is the underlying philosophy. You touched on it. This fund isn't about getting rich off the interest. That $150 isn't going to make you wealthy. Its immense, almost unparalleled value lies purely in protection.
Yeah, the source literally calls it your do not touch unless absolutely necessary fund.
Yeah.
Your financial fire extinguisher.
Exactly. And that concept, it underpins genuine financial stability. It creates this robust shield. That shield allows your other investments, the ones actually designed for growth, like those ETFs we'll talk about, to mature undisturbed.
Let's paint a quick picture. Say you just put that $300 into VTI, feeling good about it. Then a week later, bam, your car breaks down. Needs a $500 repair.
Mm-hmm.
Without this $150 buffer, maybe you have some other cash, maybe not. But you might be forced to sell, say, half of that brand new ETF investment, probably at a loss or before it's grown at all, just to cover that immediate bill.
Right. That's the kind of painful, forced liquidation this emergency fund prevents. The strategic, even though it seems like a small amount, $150 allocation, it significantly reduces financial stress. And it helps prevent those reactive, often financially damaging decisions people make during unexpected events when panic sets in.
It's not about maximizing profit on this specific $150. It's about maximizing security for your entire financial future.
Precisely. It provides crucial breathing room, allows you to make rational, thoughtful decisions, not desperate ones. And that is absolutely paramount when you're trying to build financial independence from scratch. It gives you peace of mind, lets your other investments do their long-term job. $300, invest in index funds or ETFs. The long-term play.
All right, so we've got our skills investment humming along, hopefully starting to boost income. We've got our crucial safety net in place, that bedrock of financial resilience. Now, we can confidently look towards building the next level, the part where real long-term growth starts to take shape. We're talking about taking the largest single chunk of our initial $1,000, a pretty significant $300, and putting it into index funds or ETFs. This is where you really start to leverage the immense proven power of the entire market itself. And the best part, you don't need to become some stock-picking genius or spend hours analyzing company balance sheets.
Exactly. The core concept here is all about diversified investment, putting your money into broad market funds rather than trying your luck picking individual stocks. Think of it like this. Instead of betting on one specific horse to win the Kentucky Derby.
Which is really hard to do consistently.
Right. Instead, you're essentially buying a tiny piece of all the horses running, or maybe the whole racing circuit itself. It spreads your risk dramatically across hundreds, sometimes thousands of different companies. So the performance of any single company, whether it skyrockets or tanks, won't make or break your overall investment.
Okay, so the source gives some excellent specific examples of recommended ETFs, right? Those
Yeah.
exchange-traded funds, baskets of stocks.
It does, and they're generally low-cost, broad market funds. You could go with something like VTI. That's the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund, ETF. VTI literally gives you a slice of pretty much every publicly traded company in the U.S. Big, small, medium, everything.
Wow, okay, so super diversified.
Extremely. Or maybe slightly less broad, but still very diversified. There's VOO, that's the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. VOO tracks the performance of the 500 largest U.S. companies. Think Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, the big household names, the titans of American industry.
Gotcha. And then there was another one mentioned for maybe a slightly different goal.
Yeah, for those who might be interested in generating some income alongside growth, the source mentioned SCHD. That's the Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity ETF. SCHD focuses specifically on companies that have a strong history of paying out dividends and growing those dividends over time, plus solid financial health.
Okay, so the common threads here, the characteristics highlighted, they seem really important for someone just starting out. They are low cost. That means less of your hard-earned money gets eaten up by fees, more stays invested and working for you.
Crucial, especially with smaller amounts.
They are incredibly diversified, which we've covered, reduces your risk significantly compared to single stocks, and they give you that instant exposure to hundreds, maybe thousands of companies all at once.
Right. And the strategy itself is beautifully simple, yet profoundly effective over the long run. The source sums it up perfectly. You don't need to pick winning stocks, you're buying the whole market. Set it, forget it, let it grow.
Set it and forget it. I like the sound of that.
It's about letting time and the overall progress of the economy do the heavy lifting for you. You're not relying on your own ability to outsmart Wall Street, which is statistically very unlikely.
And historically, these kinds of funds, they've performed pretty well over the long haul.
Yeah, historically, broad market index funds have averaged around 8 to 10% per year over long periods. Obviously, there are ups and downs year to year, but that's the long-term average trend.
And getting access isn't complicated anymore either.
Not at all. You can easily buy these ETFs through major brokerage platforms like Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab, or even through newer, more mobile-focused investing apps like Robinhood or Webull. And many of these now offer fractional shares, which is huge for someone starting with $300. It means you don't need, say, $400 to buy one share of VOO if that's the price. You can just buy $50 worth or $300 worth, whatever fits your budget.
Okay, so connecting this to the bigger picture, this strategy is really leveraging two massive forces, isn't it?
Absolutely. Two of the most powerful forces in finance, really. One is the power of compound interest. Your money earns returns, and then those returns start earning their own returns. It snowballs over time. And the second is the overall long-term growth of the global economy, driven by innovation, productivity, population growth, all that stuff. It really begs that important question for anyone starting out. Why try to beat the market? It's incredibly difficult. Even most professional fund managers fail to consistently outperform simple index funds over the long term. The data on that is pretty clear, so why go through all that stress and effort when you can simply buy the market?
Yeah, that simplicity. It's often overlooked, isn't it? People think investing has to be complicated.
Exactly, but that simplicity is profoundly powerful for long-term wealth building, especially for a beginner with limited capital and, frankly, limited knowledge or time to dedicate to research.
You just trust the overall trend.
Yeah, pretty much. Look at the stock market's history. Yes, there have been crashes, corrections, bear markets, scary times, but the general trend over decades, always upwards. It reflects human progress, innovation, companies creating value. By buying these broad market funds, you're essentially making a long-term bet on the enduring progress of humanity and enterprise. It's a pretty solid bet, historically speaking.
And that set it and forget it aspect.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not just about convenience, is it?
No, it's a huge strategic advantage because it helps prevent emotional decision-making. We humans were wired for fight or flight. We panic when markets drop. We get greedy when things are soaring.
Yeah, buy high, sell low, the classic mistake.
Right. This passive approach takes that temptation off the table mostly. It helps you ride out the downturns patiently and avoid chasing hyped-up stocks at their peak. It allows that magic of compounding to really work, where your earnings generate more earnings. It leads to truly exponential growth over long periods.
Can you give a quick example of that compounding with our $300?
Sure. Let's say, hypothetically, that $300 grows at an average of 10% per year. If you just left it alone for 20 years, purely from compounding, without adding another dime, it would grow to over $2,000.
Wow, from just $300 initially.
Exactly. Now imagine if you also started adding small amounts consistently, maybe from that side hustle income or your increased earnings from your new skill. That's when it really takes off.
Hmm.
So for someone starting out, maybe feeling overwhelmed, this passive diversified approach, it's often the most effective, least stressful, and historically proven path to building real wealth over the long haul. It removes that pressure of needing to be an expert stock picker. It lets you participate in wealth creation simply by being patient and consistent. $450 cost average into crypto smartly. Navigating volatility.
Okay, so we've got our long-term, relatively stable growth engine mapped out with those traditional market ETFs. Now, let's pivot. Let's talk about something that definitely sparks more debate, but also offers undeniable innovation and, well, a very different risk-reward profile. We're talking about the world of digital assets, crypto. This next $150 allocation, yeah, it might raise some eyebrows, especially for more traditional investors, but the key here is how we're approaching it. It's about strategically dipping our toes into the crypto world. Carefully. We are absolutely not talking about throwing your money at some random meme coin you saw on Twitter, okay? Or chasing anonymous tokens based purely on internet hype. No. This is about a measured, calculated approach to what is still a volatile but also increasingly mainstream asset class.
Right. The core concept here is investing a small, deliberately small amount and investing it into the established blue chip cryptocurrencies. Specifically, the source recommends focusing on Bitcoin, BTC, or Ethereum, ETH. These are the two largest by market cap, the most liquid, the most developed projects in the space, often seen as the digital gold and digital silver, respectively.
Okay, established coins. And how do we invest that $150, not all at once?
Exactly. Crucial to the strategy is using a technique called dollar cost averaging, DCA. So instead of dumping the whole $150 in at one time, which could mean buying right at a temporary market peak, a very real risk in crypto, you break it up. Maybe you buy, say, $25 worth every month for 6 months, or even $10 worth every week for 15 weeks. Whatever your chosen platform allows and feels manageable.
Oh, okay. So you're averaging out your purchase price over time.
Precisely. It significantly helps reduce your risk, especially the risk of bad timing. You're not trying to predict the bottom or the top. You're simply building a position consistently, smoothing out the entry point, regardless of those wild short-term price swings that crypto is famous for.
And the crypto landscape itself,
Yeah.
looking ahead to 2025 as the source does, how's it described? Still just hype.
No, the description is more nuanced now. It's acknowledged as still being volatile, yes, absolutely. But also, and this is key, not just hype anymore. The narrative has genuinely shifted. It's moved beyond just a niche, purely speculative interest. It's maturing, albeit still evolving, into a recognized financial sector.
What are the signs of that shift?
Well, the source points to a few things. Institutions are involved. That's huge. Major financial players, banks, huge asset managers, even big corporations are now participating. They're investing, they're building infrastructure. That lends a degree of legitimacy, maybe some stability that wasn't there before.
Right, like the big guys getting involved makes it feel a bit more...
Right. It does. And crucially, spot ETFs exist. Specifically, the Bitcoin ETFs that launched in the US not long ago. That makes it significantly easier and safer for traditional investors to get exposure to Bitcoin's price movements without actually having to buy and securely store the crypto themselves. Addresses big concerns around security and custody.
Okay, so easier access, more institutional buy-in.
Exactly. All of this points towards a clear trend. It's becoming mainstream. Slowly, maybe, but surely.
Okay, but there's a big warning label attached here, too. Right?
No, absolutely. And this is crucial. The source stresses this repeatedly. Only invest in what you understand. And critically, don't chase meme coins or Twitter pumps. This allocation, this $150, it is not about trying to get rich overnight on the flavor of the month coin. Forget that. It's about disciplined, long-term exposure for what are widely considered the foundational digital assets in this space.
So for you, the listener, this means actually doing a bit of homework.
Definitely. Understand the basics. What is Bitcoin's core value proposition? Often seen as a store of value, like digital gold. What about Ethereum? It's more like a platform for decentralized applications, for smart contracts. Understand the supply mechanics, the basic use cases. That $150 is partly about learning through doing, gaining some practical exposure to a potentially revolutionary technology, but with a controlled amount of capital, an amount you should be genuinely comfortable potentially losing given the volatility.
Yeah, that volatility point is key. So it's this balance, isn't it? High risk, high potential reward, but also increasing acceptance.
Exactly. That's what's fascinating. You've got this inherent high volatility, these wild price swings, but it's balanced against increasing institutional adoption and slowly an evolving regulatory clarity in some parts of the world. This dynamic landscape, it really raises that important question about prudent risk management, doesn't it? How can you participate in a sector that does have high growth potential, that is driving innovation, but without exposing yourself to potentially catastrophic losses if things go wrong?
And dollar cost averaging is the main tool for that.
It's absolutely key here. DCA transforms what could feel like a high-stakes gamble, should I buy now, is it going to crash, into a much more measured long-term exposure strategy. It fundamentally acknowledges you can't reliably time this market, especially not crypto. It's just too unpredictable, too prone to rapid sentiment shifts. So instead, you smooth out your entry point, you ride out the highs and the lows by buying consistently.
And focusing on Bitcoin and Ethereum, that's also part of the risk management. Sticking to the big ones.
Absolutely. It differentiates this controlled exposure to innovation from just pure speculation or gambling. The source's emphasis on BTC and ETH highlights a focus on assets that have established networks, huge developer communities working on them, significant infrastructure built around them, and, well, a longer track record than the thousands of other altcoins out there, many of which will likely fail. It really underscores the importance of doing your due diligence, understanding the underlying tech and utility, even at a basic level, rather than just chasing price charts or what some anonymous account on social media is hyping up.
So for someone starting from scratch, putting this small percentage, see, it's $150 into crypto, it's not really about hitting the jackpot.
Not primarily, no. It's more about ensuring you're not completely left behind by what could be a transformative technological shift. It's about gaining practical knowledge and participating in a small way in a potentially new financial paradigm, all while maintaining strict control over your downside risk, keeping that exposure limited to an amount you can afford to lose.
It's like buying a small ticket to be part of a potential technological revolution, not just hoping for a lottery win.
That's a great way to put it. Controlled, educated participation in innovation. 5, $100. Build a side hustle, the active income booster.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. We've covered passive market investing, the ETFs, the crypto DCA. Now let's move back towards active income generation. Our next $100 is specifically earmarked for building a side hustle. This is where we really lean into that idea the source mentioned, create, not just consume. And honestly, this can be incredibly powerful when you're starting from scratch with limited funds. The core concept is pretty straightforward. Use this $100 to kickstart some kind of small business idea, something that can generate additional active income streams, even if it's small at first.
Right, and the source gives several excellent, really accessible examples of how this $100 could be used effectively. You could use that $100, for instance, to set up a print-on-demand shop on Etsy.
Okay, how does that work, print on demand?
Basically, you create designs, maybe cool graphics, funny phrases, niche themes, and you list them on products like t-shirts, mugs, tote bags, phone cases, whatever. You list these virtual products on a platform like Etsy. When someone buys one, a third-party printing company automatically handles everything, printing the item, packaging it, shipping it directly to the customer. You never touch the inventory. Your $100 could cover maybe some initial design software or templates, maybe some Etsy listing fees to get started. Low barrier to entry.
Wow, okay. No inventory risk. What else?
Or you could use part of that $100 to buy a domain name, maybe $10, $20 for a year, get some cheap website hosting, and start a niche blog. Find a specific topic you're passionate about or knowledgeable in. Start writing engaging content. Share your expertise or journey. Over time, as you build an audience, you can monetize it through things like display ads, affiliate marketing, recommending products, and getting a commission, or eventually even selling your own digital products like ebooks or guides.
Okay, blogging takes time, though. Any quicker options?
Sure. You could launch a YouTube Shorts channel. Focus on creating short, engaging, vertical videos. This format can grow an audience relatively quickly right now. Eventually, that can lead to YouTube ad revenue or maybe brand deals if you build a following in a specific niche. Your $100 could buy you a simple ring light for better video quality, maybe a basic lavalier microphone that plugs into your phone, or even just a subscription to a decent mobile video editing app.
And critically, this ties back to step one, doesn't it? The skills.
Absolutely. This is where that first $100 investment can really start to pay off directly. You could use this $100 to start offering that skill you learned, maybe copywriting, video editing, social media help, even that AI prompting as a freelance service to clients. That $100 could then go towards building a simple online portfolio website to showcase your work, or maybe running a small, super targeted ad campaign on LinkedIn or Facebook to find your very first paying client. Or perhaps investing in a specific piece of software that makes delivering your service faster or better.
So the initial goal here, it's not necessarily to replace your main income right away.
Not at all. The goal, as the source states, is actually quite modest initially, but profoundly impactful psychologically and financially. It's about building an income stream that could consistently bring in even just $50 to $100 extra per month.
Okay, $50, $100 a month. That might not sound like life-changing money.
Maybe not initially, but when the source says that's ROI you can't get from a bank, they are absolutely spot on. Think about it. You invest $100, maybe some time and effort, and you start generating $50 or $100 every single month. That's an incredible return on that initial capital. It's immediate active return. And maybe more importantly, it proves to yourself that you can create value and generate income outside of a traditional 9-to-5 job structure.
Yeah, that psychological win must be huge. But for you, the listener, maybe the idea of even starting a side hustle feels overwhelming. Like, where do you even begin if you're truly starting from scratch? What's the absolute simplest first step?
That's a really important question. It often comes down to overcoming that initial inertia, that feeling of complexity. Honestly, the absolute simplest first step often isn't even setting up a fancy Etsy shop or website. It might be just identifying a micro skill you already have. or that brand new skill from your first $100 investment, and then offering it as a very basic service to people you already know, friends, family, maybe local community groups or small businesses perhaps for a small introductory fee.
Like what kind of micro skills?
Could be anything. Maybe you're really good at organizing digital photos or files. Maybe you have a knack for finding amazing deals on secondhand clothes online. Maybe you can proofread emails effectively or design a simple flyer in Canva. It's about validating the idea first. Getting that first small win, that first bit of positive feedback, even before you invest the full $100. Build confidence, then use the $100 to maybe professionalize it a bit, get a proper email address, a simple business card, or that software.
Okay, so start really small, validate, then invest. That makes sense.
And connecting this back to the bigger picture, this step, building a side hustle, it's fundamentally about transforming your time and your skills directly into flexible cash flow. It's about taking initiative, shifting from being solely a consumer to also being a creator of value, and seeing those immediate tangible returns from your own efforts. It's incredibly empowering. Which brings up that compelling question again for the listener. How can you leverage your unique interests, your hobbies, or those newly acquired skills to generate even a small but consistent stream of extra income, moving beyond just relying on traditional employment?
And the power isn't just the money itself, is it?
No, not at all. As you said, the psychological shift it creates is massive. When you earn that first $50 or that first $100 from something you built, something you created, it's this powerful validation. It confirms your entrepreneurial capacity, makes you think, hey, I can do this.
And then what do you do with that extra $50 or $100 a month?
Now we're talking synergy. Think about the compounding effect of that consistent extra cash flow. That's an extra $600 to $1,200 per year, potentially, from a $100 initial investment. You can then actively funnel that extra money back into the system. Maybe use it to build up your emergency fund faster, get it beyond that initial $150, more security, or add it to your monthly ETF investments, accelerating that long-term growth dramatically. Or you could even reinvest it back into the side hustle itself. Better tools, marketing, maybe outsourcing simple tasks to scale it up and generate even more income.
So it creates this positive feedback loop.
Yeah, exactly. This consistent small income can significantly speed up your overall investment growth. It provides a much larger financial buffer over time. And importantly, it starts to reduce your reliance on a single income source, which is key for resilience. Plus, it teaches you invaluable skills along the way. How to be proactive, how to identify needs in the market, how to deliver value, how to maybe even manage basic finances for your hustle. Skills that are priceless far beyond just generating a bit of extra cash. It's really about creating financial leverage through your own ingenuity and effort. 6. $100 invest in personal branding or content creation. The attention economy.
Okay, moving on from directly creating income with a side hustle, our next $100 allocation moves into a slightly different but increasingly crucial realm: digital presence. Specifically, investing in your personal brand or in content creation. This is a really powerful idea that the source drives home hard. If you're not actively building some kind of presence online in 2025, you are almost certainly leaving money, opportunity, and valuable future connections on the table. It's kind of shifting from an optional nice-to-have to, well, a fundamental necessity in the modern economy, wouldn't you say?
I would absolutely agree. The landscape has changed dramatically. The core concept here is about taking a small amount of capital, that $100, and investing it strategically in tools or promotion, things that directly help you build, enhance, and then leverage your online presence. And let's be clear, this isn't necessarily about becoming some massive TikTok star or Instagram influencer overnight. That's not the primary goal for most people. It's more about strategically positioning yourself online so that the right opportunities for you actually start to seek you out.
Okay, so what does that look like in practice? With just $100, what can you realistically do?
The source gives some really good, concrete, accessible examples again. For instance, you could get a Canva Pro subscription. Canva, for anyone unfamiliar, is this incredibly user-friendly online graphic design tool. It lets you create surprisingly professional-looking visuals for social media posts, presentations, flyers, even basic marketing materials for your side hustle, all without needing any formal design training.
Yeah, Canva's pretty amazing for democratizing design.
Totally. And a monthly pro subscription is quite affordable, well within that $100 budget for several months. It can instantly elevate the look and feel of your content, making you appear much more professional right from the start.
Okay, better visuals. What else?
Or you could invest in a decent entry-level microphone for content creation. If you plan on creating any kind of audio or video content, maybe short videos for LinkedIn or YouTube Shorts, maybe starting a small podcast related to your niche, hosting webinars, or honestly, even just participating more effectively in online meetings where your voice is representing you or your business. Clear audio makes a massive difference. It impacts how professionally and credibly you're perceived. Bad, echoey, muffled audio can instantly undermine your message no matter how good the content is.
So true. Nothing worse than bad audio on a video call or podcast.
Right, so a simple USB mic or a lavalier mic for your phone can be a great $50-$100 investment.
What about using the money for promotion? Like ads?
Yeah, that's another option, depending on your goals. That $100 could potentially go towards running some small, highly targeted online ads, maybe to grow your LinkedIn connections if you're focused on professional networking or B2B services, or perhaps boost a few key posts on Instagram if you're building a more visual brand or targeting consumers. The key here is targeted. This isn't about spraying ads everywhere. It's about strategically reaching the specific people who are most likely to be interested in your skills, your services, your content, potential clients, collaborators, maybe even future employers.
Gotcha. So why? Why is investing in this online presence so vital now?
The why is absolutely essential, and the source puts it brilliantly. Because in today's economy, attention is an asset. Think about that. Attention itself is a form of capital now. If people know you, trust you, and follow your content, the opportunities start chasing you. That fundamentally flips the script, doesn't it? Instead of you constantly being the one chasing, searching for jobs, applying for gigs, pitching clients, opportunities start finding their way to you because you've become visible. Because people see your expertise, they trust your voice, they value your perspective.
It's like building social capital that eventually converts into actual financial capital.
Precisely. That's a perfect way to frame it.
So this idea that visibility and credibility are forms of capital, that feels like a really modern concept.
It is, and it's incredibly powerful. It's really not just about what you know anymore. That's still important, obviously. But it's increasingly also about who knows that you know it. And can they find you easily? This raises that important question again for you, the listener. How can you strategically use these online platforms, not just for passively scrolling through endless feeds, but for actively, intentionally building your professional reputation, your personal brand, thereby opening doors to opportunities you might not even be able to predict right now?
So a strong personal brand acts like a digital magnet, pulling opportunities towards you.
Exactly. A digital magnet for your expertise. That's a great analogy. Think about it. Whether you're a freelancer looking for your next client, or someone looking for a better job, or even an artist or creator looking for collaborators. If you have a well-curated, consistent online presence where you share your knowledge, showcase your work, engage thoughtfully, then when someone searches online for a skill you have or for someone in your field, you are much more likely to be found. And not just found, but immediately perceived as credible, as an authority, as someone worth reaching out to.
So it's about being found for your expertise rather than constantly having to shout about it.
Precisely. It dramatically reduces the friction in finding new opportunities. A strong personal brand can lead to job offers without even formally applying sometimes. It can attract clients for your side hustle who already trust you because they've been following your content. It can foster valuable collaborations with peers who resonate with your work, all of which lead to more projects, more income streams, more growth.
So in this interconnected digital world, Your online footprint isn't just a sideshow. It's kind of your everything.
It really is becoming that central hub. It's your resume, your portfolio, your professional network, and your reputation all rolled into one dynamic package. So investing even a small amount, like this $100, into building and shaping it strategically, that's investing in your future leverage. You're cultivating an invaluable asset that works for you 24/7 by attracting opportunities while you sleep. 7. $100. Keep liquid and look for fast ROI opportunities. The Agility Fund.
Okay, we're rounding the corner now. We've allocated $900 across skills, safety, long-term growth, crypto exposure, side hustles, and personal branding. What about the final $100? This last piece is kept liquid, easily accessible cash. Essentially, it's our Agility Fund. It's there, ready and waiting, specifically for quick, potentially high-return opportunities that might pop up unexpectedly.
Yeah, this is kind of the wild card element of the plan, the dynamic entrepreneurial piece. It's about maintaining this small, readily accessible pot of capital specifically for immediate, short-term, opportunistic investments. Things that can generate a rapid return, often by leveraging your time, your local knowledge, or maybe even those skills you've been building.
So this isn't money just sitting in a savings account like the emergency buffer.
No, not quite the same purpose. While the emergency fund is purely for defense, for unexpected problems, this agility fund is more for offense, for unexpected opportunities. It's cash that's actively looking for quick flips, immediate value adds, or small-scale entrepreneurial experiments. It has a job to do.
Okay, so what kind of opportunities are we talking about here? The source gave some examples, right?
It did. Some really practical, down-to-earth examples. One classic is buying something undervalued and flipping it locally. This means actively scouring places like thrift stores, garage sales, maybe online marketplaces like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, looking for items, maybe used furniture, electronics, vintage clothing, collectibles that you recognize are priced below their potential market value.
Stuff you could fix up or clean up easily.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe you buy a solid wood chair for $20 that just looks a bit tired. You spend $30 from this fund on sandpaper, paint, maybe some new fabric for the cushion, put in a few hours of work. Then you take some nice photos, maybe using skills learned from your branding efforts, and list it online for $100, $120.
Boom. Quick $50, $70 profit right there.
Right. Leveraging your eye for value, a bit of elbow grease, and this small capital pool.
Okay, flipping makes sense. What else?
Another example is using it for jumping on a new tool or AI product that could significantly boost your workflow or enhance the output of your side hustle. Imagine a new piece of software comes out. Maybe it automates a really tedious task you do for your freelance work, or it dramatically improves the quality of your video editing or graphic design. Maybe a 1-month subscription costs $50 or $80. Using this agility fund to grab it quickly could immediately save you hours of time each week, or allow you to charge more for higher quality work.
Ah, so investing in immediate efficiency gains.
Exactly. That $100 investment could quickly pay for itself multiple times over, either in saved time, which you can use for more paying work, or directly through increased income. It's about strategic micro investments in your own productivity.
And other examples. Investing in others.
Yeah, the source also mentioned potentially investing in someone else's small project. Now, this needs caution, obviously, but it could be something like a very small, short-term microloan to a trusted friend who's starting a small venture and needs $100 for inventory, with a clear agreement for repayment plus a little interest. Or maybe contributing a small amount to a crowdfunding campaign for a product you believe in, where there's a quick potential reward or benefit. Or perhaps buying a small batch of a trending, locally relevant item you know you can quickly resell at a community market or event.
So the key benefit here is Flexibility.
That's exactly how the source puts it. This gives you flexibility, and flexibility is power. It's about being nimble, being observant, and critically, being ready and able to act when a short-term, potentially high ROI opportunity appears out of the blue. It really helps cultivate that keen eye for spotting opportunities others might miss because they don't have that small bit of ready capital.
Okay, so connecting this final piece to the bigger picture, it's really about fostering an entrepreneurial mindset, isn't it?
Absolutely, that's the core of it. This final allocation actively encourages you to constantly be searching for overlooked value in your immediate environment, in your local community, even in online marketplaces. And crucially, it trains you to act quickly, decisively when a good opportunity presents itself. Because often these small arbitrage or flipping opportunities are fleeting. It really poses that interesting question for you, the listener. How does having even just this small, flexible $100 fund empower you to seize those micro opportunities that maybe others overlook or can't act on? What kinds of flips or small scale investments could you realistically find and pursue right now in your own local context or within your digital sphere of influence?
And it's important to stress this isn't just random spending money, right? It's still strategic.
Definitely not random spending. It's about calculated risk taking, but on a very small scale. High turnover ventures. It trains your eye to spot those inefficiencies or unmet needs in the market right around you. Maybe it is buying a bulk lot of something on clearance at a local store because you know you can resell the individual items online for a profit. Or maybe it's investing $100 in a highly specialized, short online workshop that immediately unlocks a new in-demand service you can add to your freelance offerings tomorrow.
The potential ROI on these kinds of things can be really high, really fast compared to traditional investing.
It can be precisely because you're directly leveraging your own effort, your observation skills, your specific knowledge, and your agility. You're not just passively waiting for market returns. Think of this $100 as a fund dedicated to learning through doing. It allows you to test small business ideas, experiment with flipping, exploit temporary market arbitrage, all while refining your business acumen with incredibly minimal downside risk. If an idea fails, you've lost maybe $50 or $100 but gained valuable experience. It's really about building that muscle for identifying and capitalizing on fleeting advantages. And that skill, that entrepreneurial edge, that's truly invaluable for long-term financial independence. Wrap up summary.
Wow, okay. So let's recap. What does this all mean for you, the listener, and that initial $1,000? This comprehensive blueprint takes that $1,000 and strategically allocates it across these 7 diverse areas. It creates this resilient, growth-oriented foundation designed to start building financial independence right from the ground up. Let's quickly list them again. First, $100 goes into learning a high-income skill, investing directly in your ability to earn more money, starting now and hopefully forever.
Foundational.
Then $150 is dedicated to building that emergency fund, the crucial safety net, protecting your investments, protecting your peace of mind from life's inevitable surprises.
Non-negotiable protection.
The biggest slice, $300, is wisely placed into diversified ETFs for that solid, passive, long-term growth, buying the whole market, letting compounding work its magic over decades.
The core long-term engine.
Next up, $150 is cautiously but strategically dollar cost averaged into established crypto, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, giving you that controlled exposure to innovation, managing the risk.
Smart participation in the new.
Another $100 is specifically for starting a side hustle, actively creating new income streams, getting that immediate ROI on your effort, boosting your monthly cash flow.
Active income generation.
Then we allocated $100 towards building your personal brand or online content, recognizing that visibility and attention are truly valuable assets in 2025, attracting opportunities to you.
Building future leverage.
And finally, the last $100 is kept liquid. That's your agility fund, ready to jump on those fast, high-return, small-scale entrepreneurial opportunities as they arise.
Cultivating entrepreneurial action.
So 7 pieces working together.
Exactly, and it's absolutely critical to understand. This is not a get-rich-quick plan. You will not be a millionaire overnight using this. That's not the goal. Instead, think of it as a get-smart-fast plan. It focuses on sustainable growth, on building capabilities, on proactive financial management, and resilience. This comprehensive framework, it isn't just about simply accumulating wealth in a linear way. It's really designed to encourage the continuous development of valuable habits like saving, investing regularly, learning, diverse assets, skills, investments, online presence, side income, and resilient systems.
Mm.
Emergency fund, diversified portfolio, things that will continue to generate returns and foster financial freedom over time, long after that initial $1,000 is deployed.
It's like building a whole financial ecosystem around yourself.
That's a perfect way to put it. A thriving financial ecosystem. You're not just pinning your hopes on one single big win, one lucky stock pick. You're actively building multiple streams of income. Job plus skill plus side hustle. You're proactively protecting your capital, emergency fund. You're continuously enhancing your skills, lifelong learning. You're investing passively for the long term, ETFs. You're taking calculated risks on innovation, crypto, and you're staying nimble and observant for new opportunities, Agility Fund. This plan fundamentally shifts your focus away from merely saving money passively towards actively growing your income generating capacity, managing risk intelligently across different areas, and creating diverse avenues for wealth creation.
It's really about building the infrastructure
Yeah,
first.
exactly. Building a robust infrastructure that supports ongoing financial independence and future wealth creation far, far beyond that initial $1,000 starting point. It's really a testament, I think, to that powerful truth. Starting small absolutely does not mean you have to think small.
So, for you, our listener, as we wrap up, we really want you to mull over this deep dive into the $1,000 blueprint. What stands out most significantly to you about this whole strategic plan? Was it maybe the heavy emphasis upfront on investing in yourself and skills? Did that resonate? Or perhaps the measured strategic allocation to crypto intrigued you, seeing it framed not as gambling, but as controlled participation in new technology? And maybe take a moment to reflect. If you were truly starting from scratch tomorrow, with just that $1,000 as your financial launch pad, which of these 7 steps do you honestly think would be the most challenging for you personally to implement? Where's the friction point? Or, on the flip side, which step feels the most exciting, the most energizing to begin with? Where do you see the biggest hurdle for yourself, or conversely, the greatest immediate potential for your own unique journey?
Yeah, those are great questions for self reflection. And remember, knowledge is always most valuable when it's not just understood intellectually, but when it's actively applied, put into practice. This deep dive, we've tried to meticulously lay out a clear, actionable path forward. But the true power, the real transformation, that only comes from taking that first decisive step, making that first allocation, starting that first skill module, making that first small investment, no matter how small that first step might feel. Just starting is key. There's always more to learn, always ways to refine your approach as you go on your financial journey. But hopefully, seeing how these different pieces, skills, safety, growth, innovation, side income, branding, agility connect together to form a cohesive, resilient financial strategy, hopefully that's truly insightful. Your journey to financial freedom, it really doesn't require a massive inheritance or winning the lottery. That's the empowering message here. It starts with intentional, intelligent choices made today. Even with just $1,000, it's really about building the habits, acquiring the skills, and cultivating the mindset now that will compound and serve you for decades to come, creating this powerful, positive ripple effect for your entire financial future.